skies. I can see the sky. See the sky. See the sky. Watch
Welcome to Hollywood Balls, live for the Dubliners Dubai and powered by Board 8 Football Club, the biggest football project on the XRPL. It's 6 p.m. local time in Dubai, and the question is, it's about to get messy. And I'm not talking about here in the bar, I'm talking about the GOAT. Is he on the brink of winning the World Cup? We're about to find out. Geordie royalty in the house, and I'm not talking about myself. The one and only legendary Lee Clark is with us on Hollywood Balls. How are you, mate?
Hi, Pete. Good to hear from you.
How are you? Are you well?
Yeah, all good. Everything's enjoyed the World Cup. Now looking forward to the Premier League coming back.
Yeah, we're going to get into that because I'm going to put you on the spot. There's quite a lot of talk in Newcastle, quite a lot of transfer chat, so looking forward to catching up to that. Big shout out, though, to the QPR supporters that are in the house tonight. These boys have been all over Lee, all over watching England. I'm believing, if I'm not mistaken, you flew back to the UK for 24 hours, and then literally you turned around and you came back out for the quarters, right? Absolutely. Fair play on that, but brilliant to have the boys along.
That's fans for you.
It is. On that note, Lee, what have you made of the World Cup? Have you enjoyed it? It's the first one in the Middle East, so it's been different for everyone. But boy, there's been some great football.
It has been different, Peter. Yeah, especially over here in England. You know, you're getting ready for Christmas time. You know, below 0 temperatures, but then you put the football. The players look like they're needing a drink break after a couple of minutes with the heat over there. That's been really positive. Is having a World Cup. I didn't know how it would work out having a World Cup at this. It's allowed you to have it. Got players in peak condition. They're not coming to play in a World Cup for their clubs when they've had to play in challenging in titles and challenging for Europa League, etc. So they come in really fresh after only a couple of months of that. I think that's shown in the quality of the games right from the start in the group stages. I've really enjoyed the majority of the game. There has been one or two that have been great, but you know the majority of it.
It was a slow start, mate, but it got there. I tell you what we'll do, if you don't mind. Let's have a fan's eyes views. One of you boys want to join me for a minute, just so I can chat to you about the World Cup. Either one of you. You from an England fan's perspective, who fancies it?
Yeah. Go to a poll in.
Come on, join me here then. Lini Jamo, massive QPR fan, great boy. His son is treading the route that Bobby did as well, by the way. He's with Luton Town at present.
He's playing QPR on Sunday.
And he's playing QPR on Sunday. That'll be interesting.
That's royalties.
Listen, James, a couple of things for you. As an England fan, because you are an England fan, I mean, you boys, you go everywhere together. What's the first thing I'm going to ask you is England again in the quarters, so nearly. It's always a case of nearly. Is it time for a change, or do you stick with him and you build again from a fan's perspective?
Yeah, I don't know what you and Lee think, but I actually thought this quarterfinal was different to the others. I thought we were the dominant team. I thought we had the better chances. before the match, I agreed it was a 50-50 that we had to win. Compared to, if you go back to the Italy game, I thought Southgate bottled it. I thought we got it wrong tactically. And the Croatia game, I thought he was too slow to react. But with this, the substitutions weren't great. But I actually thought we really took the game to France. I thought I think Gary Neville, I'm not a particularly big fan of Gary Neville, but he said something the other night on ITV. He said, we had 57% possession, we dominated possession, and we really went for it. So I think tactically, you put your house on Harry Kane to score the penalty, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And I think Saka was undoubtedly fouled as well for the first goal. So I know you were sort of saying about what's the fellow in midfield winning the game and
Griezmann.
Yeah, Griezmann. Yeah, and I think he did. But I thought overall, we were the better side. And I think France know they were in a game. This isn't like Argentina in '86. I think it's probably our best knockout performance since probably with the Germany games in 1990 or '96. I don't know what you guys think of that. I thought we played well.
That's good summary.
Yeah. If all of what
Is it mine or is it?
performance.
Lee, I'm going to ask you a favour. Would you mind, just because we're having a little few difficulties with your sound, would you mind nipping out and then coming back in again and see if that makes a difference? Just your sound's chopping up a bit and the boys are eager to hear from you.
Okay, no problem.
That's better.
Stay there.
Stay there.
Is
that better?
Is that better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just possibly close proximity. Yeah, so would you agree with that? I'm asking you to put your coach's hat on here, Lee. Us fans, me and Kev were literally having a brawl last week because I wanted Gareth to take the shackles off and go for it, and he was saying you've got to play carefully, you've got to pick your chances. Where do you sit?
No, I think the team played with freedom. I think they played from a good shape. With the ball, they were more expansive. They played exciting football. They had the opponents on the back foot for the majority of the game. So I agree with the assumption that the performance warranted a result. Sometimes in football, you don't get it. You don't get what you deserve. It's fine margin, one or two indifferent refereeing decisions. When you're talking about top players that you're playing against, they just need the slightest chance. I think the winning goal. Giroud is a very underrated footballer. He's rated highly amongst his peers and his managers who work with him, but in the public, the plaudits are deserved. So yeah, everyone's disappointed because they've gone out before our quarter-final game. We're thinking, well, you get past France, it could be you mightn't get this chance again, but it was always going to be the case that we had to get over. It just was a little bit too far for us. And on the question of the manager, I would love him to stay. I want him to stay. I think he's building. We've got a fun thing. We've probably got the youngest squad in the competition. You think of some of those players that are already, this experience going to do them no harm. And I think going into the youth is a great opportunity for us. But if, Gareth is obviously having a few doubts himself. If he feels it isn't right, he has to step, move aside and then see where we. I think because of his work that he'd done previously in the FA with the under-21s, he's got to know really, really well, understood and blooded them at the right time. I think, I believe the next step was for him to stay and go to the Euros. Because I think we are one of the feared nations now. I think even the French come out after the game, and for the French to say that you deal, that's not easy for a Frenchman, and I'm with a lot of Frenchmen.
Brilliant. Listen, we're going to get on to the surprise package and everybody's sort of second favourite team in this World Cup. But the reason that you're on tonight is because it's a nation of football and a continent of football that you know very well. So a bit more about Morocco. You've got to say though, we've got to look at, you know, France. France played Morocco. They're obviously the heavy favourites. But let's have a quick look at last night. And I said when we came into the top of this, it's looking very much like it could be Messi's World Cup, doesn't it, Lee?
Yeah, without a doubt. And I was always before the competition. England couldn't win it. You'd want Argentina to do it for him to complete the full of trophies. And if he wins the World Cup, probably puts him at number one. Is there, you know, against some unbelievable footballers. You know, Maradona from his own country, Pelé, name but a few. The only thing that's disappointed me with that sensation of the Argentinians when they won the penalty shootout against the Netherlands.
Yeah.
There's an unwritten rule that never gloat in front of your opponent like that, especially when you can see them crash into you do your celebrating away from that. And I was disappointed with that, to be honest with you. But tonight, and the guy's just on a different planet. You know, he conserves his energy. He spends a lot of time just walking into little spaces. He's not running all over, making run after the ball. He's conserving that energy now as he's getting older. But when he does use it, it's for the third goal. It's just magical.
Absolutely. So you mentioned another player in that. So I've got to ask you. Is he greater than Maradona? I
think if he wins the World Cup, he will be, yeah. I can do that because if you remember what Diego done in the 80s when probably he singled the pun, took Argentina to winning the World Cup. And if Messi can emulate the late great Diego and country Argentina also, and what he's done also around his career of Maradona.
He's following a similar journey, isn't he? Brilliant. Okay, let's talk about Morocco. It's a surprise to everyone, Lee, but is it to you because it's a continent and an elite and a level of football that you know very well from your coaching days?
No, is it a surprise they've got to the semi-final without a shadow of a doubt? Behind the scenes there in the Moroccan Football Federation, couldn't get to the semi-final and play the way they've played. But I've seen the finances, you know, the grassroots of the game there. I've been involved in terms of clubs, talking to a couple of Moroccan clubs to potentially take over as the head coach. And they've set up like they're similar to St. George's Park in England. They've set up their own base camp, basically what it is. And it's a development centre, and they've put a lot of money into their coach education programs, you know, which is from around Europe, and a couple of the last technical directors have been people from and from Champions League football, and they've really embraced the high. One, the coaching levels and the standards have risen, and also the quality structure has been invested in very, very, very heavily. And when they get the results, it justifies that, and it can show the other African nations that if you put somebody in the right areas, you can be successful. So for that continent of great example, and it's a great reward to show you what's right, and that's what they've done with the Moroccan FA.
Show you what's possible. Big shout out to all of you who tuned in because you are all over. And welcome to the Board 8 FC. Their fans are tuning in as well. Great to have you along. We realise that it's different time zones all over the world. Evening here in Dubai, afternoon in the UK, afternoon in Africa as well, where some of you are. Moses is here, Roxy's here, Doc's in, and it's great to have you all along. Everyone hoping for a Morocco win on this board tonight. So let's not. I don't want to be anti-opposition, but you've got to say as well, if similarly, Lee, that you look at the way the Argentinians maybe rely on Messi. What about France Will they rely on the big man Mbappe, do you think?
In terms of what France have got in terms of the attacking option, it more in terms of the firepower, because they've got Griezmann playing in that little number 10 role, even on that.
He's been fantastic, hasn't he?
He's been superb. And then you've got someone I spoke about earlier, who's been involved in the game from a playing capacity or a coaching or managerial capacity. How important and how good he is. He doesn't, as I said, he doesn't get the credit in some media outlets and certainly from some fans, etc. He's not the one doing all the tricks. He's a throwback. He gets the ball, and provided he gets in the box and he gets on the end of things. So I think other bits of firepower instead of Messi, but I do think France have a little bit more if you don't handle him. And it's difficult to see it trying to handle him because, isn't it? He's powerful. He's good in the air. He's got 2 great feet. He's got great ability. He's lightning quick. So if you've got a box that you want to, a criteria that you can player, he just ticks every single box of that. So as you've seen, even with Kyle Walker on the outside of Kyle the other night and still beat him, I think that took everyone by shock in English football, because we've seen Kyle Walker make up 4 or 5 yards before. So, hey, Morocco, ain't conceded a goal yet in terms of from the opposition. It was an own goal. So they're a tough nut to crack, and they've got nothing to lose here. They've won their World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
But them group of players now, thinking, 180 minutes, possibly a bit longer, if extra, world champion, a World Cup winner, and how many people can say that around, so for different game for them tonight. Interesting to see how they do it, and then an early goal, what then Morocco do, because as we said, they haven't really been in that position where they've got, so let's see how it pans out.
Let's do that. Okay, listen, the French have yet to keep a clean sheet at this tournament. They've done so in just 1 of 11 matches since June. Not a great record defensively, and I thought they were there to be got at. I said to JMO in a text last week that they looked susceptible at the back. Morocco will be the 25th different nation to play in a World Cup semi-final and the first from Africa. We have to say as well, because this has caused me all types of grief, Lee, all week, that African nation, yes, but also please don't forget Arabic as well. So I'm sitting fair and square in the middle, because I get battered every time I say that's an African nation, and I get battered every time I say they're Arabic. So 25th different nation to play in the semi-finals, and the last team to make their debut at this stage was Spain in 2010, if you remember, who beat Germany 1-0. Like you said, the Moroccans have kept 4 clean sheets at this tournament. The last 2 sides to record shutouts at a single World Cup in Spain 2010 and Italy 2006. They lifted the trophy. So if they go down the road that you're on, Dash, they could be the World Cup winners. Listen, there was a story out this morning, and we all love this. The boys will love this because they've been over in Doha. I don't know if you've bumped into him. There's a man who's known for bringing bad luck to the FIFA World Cup teams. Have you seen it? So he's from Oman, and he's had literally 20 or 30,000 requests from Morocco fans tonight to wear a France jersey. So he's pitched up this Omani guy, and he wore an Argentina top against Saudi. They got beat. And so on and so forth. Every game he's been to, the other team have won. So they're literally the Moroccans clubbing together to get this guy. So if you see him tonight and you know what shirt he's got on, you know who's going to win. Okay, listen, Christmas is coming. So we did want to chat while we've got Leon, because we all know 2 games to go. World Cup champions will be crowned. But then the focus turns again to the Premier League, and something that everyone's excited about, to get their teams back in. So I wanted to chat to you about that. But before we do, Someone said to me the other night when Robbie Earnshaw was in, "Oh, you lot, you're obsessed with the entertainers." I said, "Yeah, rightly so. Have a look at this."
Beardsley on first time. Clark goes all the way. He scored. Lee Clark was not to be denied, and he's put Newcastle ahead. 32 minutes gone. Beardsley. Here's Lee Clark, and that's 2-0. Lee Clark puts Newcastle in control with 8 minutes left. Plenty of smiles from Dalglish, and Clark, 3 goals in 3 games now for him. He was onto that like a flash, and Newcastle now should be comfortable.
Given making his way towards the near post, it's over him. Schwarzer comes out, not the most effective pass. Back through a crowd of players and in from Lee Clark. 2-2. It's all as even in the Tyne Tees derby.
I'm sure I've heard him say there 3 in 3. Surely not, was it?
That was that were my prolific days.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, someone reminded me of that, and I said, "Well, I'm gonna dig his best out." Listen, there's a whole lot more on that one. That reel runs for 7 minutes, so let's give him his credit. Always an important part of that team. Fast forward to today's team, Lee, and Eddie and the boys. They'll be itching to get back into Premier League action, won't they?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I spoke to Eddie. The big question I mentioned to him, and he agreed, was didn't really want the momentum Newcastle had at that time. Players all playing at the top of that game. Touch wood, there wasn't a lot of injury issues, and the team was just putting out game in, game out, getting great results. So hopefully the break has done them well in terms of the lads who weren't involved in the World Cup, and the lads who were as well, but have done enough training to keep them up to the intensity that. And it's an exciting second half of the season going into the next week in the Carabao Cup, and then obviously the game so Leicester. So just trying to get everything ready and to continue in first half of the season to see if we can continue in that rich vein of form. We sit rightly in the top 4, and the team's doing brilliant.
Got to say that I'm going to try and make you a headline writer here. Does January transfer windows there, you with your coach's hat on, not your fans' hat on, does Eddie need to go in the market? And if he does, what position does he need to fill?
Well, when you're a manager, strengthen, they're always looking to improve. So you never go in any window saying, you do become a little bit greedy as a head, always want more and more, and you never settle for you think always there's ways to improve the team. I think the level Newcastle have got to players that they'll need to take them to the next level. Are they going to be available in January? That Newcastle make now on signings just to be squad fillers. I think the signings that even better, which then makes the squad even stronger. Because I look at their bench, and that bench is very, very strong. It covers all departments of the team to change the game, either through tactical decisions, either through injuries, matches, and the team never weakens, in my opinion. And so I think do something. But January's always a difficult market. Obviously now as well, clubs, it's the first January window when you can't do ownership, and the clubs know that as well. So do the prices get inflated, which they normally do already, but are they going to get inflated even more because it's Newcastle United? So I think, I've got to say, I think it will be. And the thing is, Eddie's had unbelievable success in before last January January, and then this summer he's been outstanding in his recruitment, and that's in the scenes. And Eddie himself for implement them in the team. He'll not want to. And one of the crucial factors is he looks like he's got an unbelievable with the group of players, and so they'll not just have to be top players who are coming to us. So this is all going to be taken into consideration.
On that note, I was reading one of your old teammates and a great pal of this show, Shaka Hislop, was asked on Fox Sports just literally 24 hours ago, did Newcastle United go after Pulisic? And he said, in a word, no. He didn't see him fitting into the Newcastle side.
No disrespect to Pulisic, I think he's an outstanding young player, but I don't think he's any better than what we have at Newcastle. I don't think he's going to take us to the new. I think he could be a good addition, but I'm not too sure it's level in terms of where we want to be. I think there's better opportunities out there. If you're alone, if we can't get anyone in permanently in January for Pulisic to come to us till the end of this, disregard that type of move. But if you're talking about a permanent signing, I think maybe you keep the other summer, because I think there'll be stronger and better possibilities. I mean, he hasn't particularly Chelsea's had some moments, but you know, he's been in and out of their team. The clubs we need to be looking to challenging now, and we don't need to get the thing on good enough. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I'm just thinking that there could be better possibilities.
Okay. Very happy birthday to Moses. It's his birthday. Just see that, everyone. Send him cake. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. Listen, I'm outnumbered by QPR in here, so I've got to ask you. I've got to put it to you, Lee. Put you on the spot. Have you got any memories of playing at Loftus Road?
They're our big rivals, Fulham. And we ground shared at Loftus Road for 2 seasons. And the famous winning goal against Newcastle there.
Yeah.
So I've got the memories there. Obviously, QPR in the early 90s. So yeah, it's a happy hunting ground. Obviously, good people there now. Ex-teammate of mine, director of football, Les Furley. My ex-chief executive at Fulham, Lee Hughes, is now chief executive there. I see they've made some interesting appointments. Mike doing a great job for them, but went on, and now they've brought Neil Critchley in, who has that behind him as well.
Good stuff. He remembers he played at Loftus Road as well, does he? Good stuff. Paul, any memories of Clark playing over at Loftus Road?
Hold on, my dog's just going crazy.
We're going to live show.
She's wanting Morocco.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it was 3-0 to. We forget that one. So was that what prompted?
What was that?
Sign Les 3-0 to QPR. He ran right at St James's. Is that what prompted him to sign for the 2? Yeah.
And everyone was kicking off because they were saying, how can we pay for QPR?
Okay.
And he missed the game. The way we were knocked out,
Yeah, there's still the boys are still sore about Sir Les coming up northly.
You had to join a proper club.
You can have him back now.
You can have him back now, they say. Listen, just to round it off, as we always do with every guest, give us a prediction for tonight, France, Morocco, and the boys can take you on.
I think it's just going to be a step too far. They've had an unbelievable tournament. They've put the African continent continent on the map, the country, so proud of the players and the manager. But I just think they're coming up against the top firepower. It's just going to be a step too far for them.
You got a score?
I'll go 2-0 because I think they'll score an early goal, and Morocco will have to change the way they play the game in terms of come out a little bit. And I think you're playing into Mbappe's hands then.
Good stuff. Listen, absolute pleasure to see you as always. Typical Geordie, he's wearing t-shirt and shorts up in the tune, -7. Love it. We'll see you very soon. Look forward to it. Thanks a lot to Lee Clark. It's been great to see you.
Cheers, Pete. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your rest of your trip.